Hello everybody, it's Damon. Crazy Logics 007 on YouTube and Crazy Logics most elsewhere. How you doing? This video will be doing the bias on this amp, which a lot of people are wanting to see. But as you watch, you'll see we got a few other things, and so I was setting this up for the next video in it and for the continue on troubleshooting, but there was some few things I needed to talk about real quick. One, if you haven't watched the final tar amps video, number 5, it shows a big stack of Rockford amps and stuff, and so I want to give a shout out to Chaz, one of the guys from the Facebook Rockford groups. I was able to get some non-working and some parts amplifiers from him, all Rockford, and that's going to really help when we do a bunch of these Rockford repairs and some other stuff. It's going to allow us to do the Punch 75. I think I can make a test out of everything I got, a test amp to test some stuff for some things I want to do in the future. Like I said, watch that video. Other big thing is it is spring. Got yard work, got garden stuff and everything, so the videos are a little more spaced out right now, and it probably will be that way all through summer. But also another big thing is we will be moving, and so I have all that to do once I get my bench all set up at the new house and everything. We've got a little time to get this house ready. I've got a bunch of stuff to do here, spit and polish kind of things. And then I'll get the bench set up and we'll get everything going over there, and we'll continue to do more repairs and stuff. But if the videos are a little more spaced out, you'll know why. As it gets closer towards winter, there'll be more and more videos because I have more spare time. And obviously on bad weather days I can sit around and play with amps. But I wanted to let you know all that. Here I was setting up. You should notice right here I've got the oscilloscope set up, and I was setting up my probes and some stuff for signal tracing and how I was going to shoot the next video so I could do a good thing. And I found another problem that I've kind of got band-aided right now, and some other stuff. So just in setting up everything, I found a couple other little issues. So we've got some, spoiler alert, we got a few more things to do here. But the bias video is good. It does show how to set it correctly. And so that's all wonderful. And we will continue, after I get this all edited and stuff, I'll be probably shooting the next video, working on this. I want to get it done. I'm trying to get all my friends' amps out of here because, with moving, I don't want to be responsible for them. So hard to focus on getting all their stuff done and out of there. So all I got left is just my stuff, and then I could do a couple fun projects too. On to the video, and if I don't include it at the end or whatever, thanks for watching. Like, subscribe, and comments. Comments are always fun and cool. I try to reply to them all. I'm a small channel, so it's pretty easy to do. Coming up on almost 2,000 views, and almost got 100 subscriptions, getting close. So that's pretty amazing for as short a time as I've been doing this, and as fun as it's been for me. So that keeps encouraging me. So like I said, and the comments encourage me. So keep it up, and I think so. Thank you a whole bunch. And on to the video. Okay, that should have got all that down. If I didn't mention it, you should start in the middle and spread out. And I couldn't quite remember this one. Seemed to have misplaced a screw. Couldn't find it in the bag. I may have knocked it off into my stuff here, but I've got plenty of these screws, so I just grabbed another. but I made sure I got those. You want to do that from the outside or from the inside out, sorry, and you'll see when you see this white just a little bit squeeze out the edges, that's good. So that gets that all down. You can feel it and make sure, because I mean that is the bond to the heatsink, so that's important. So technically we need to flip this booger over and see if we did anything wrong. We're going ahead and hook up the remote. Battery positive. Excuse me. Allergies are wonderful. Everybody should have them. Know the joy. I'm going to go ahead. Let's see which side. Make sure we're doing this right. This is the side that we will be testing. It should be, if I look at the plate, positive here. In bridged mode. Just making sure. We'll just hook it all up correct. It's going to immediately be in bridged mode, which is okay. We have not set the bias, but that's really all we got to do. May not be able to set it the voltage way, and I'll show you why. There we go. What is this? That set screw's got some junk or something down in it. It's not perfect. I asked my buddy if he wanted all new set screws, and he said no, he'd take care of that. I said okay. So we're all good there. We're going to be powering up this channel. Go ahead and look and see front gain there. We're going to set the switch. This one is four input. That is a low pass, and that would be low pass all the way over there. We're going to test it with my sub, as always. We're going to turn this gain to there. And so we got the gain set at neutral, or whatever you want to call it. Got all that hooked up. Plug in some power. We're about to find out if we did anything wrong. So the first thing I always do, I don't hit start up or anything else. I go and see if I got voltage, and I do. I got 12.5 volts. That means it didn't insta-pop my fuse, so nothing in the circuitry is super bad. Feel, make sure nothing's getting hot there. Doesn't seem to be. There's some wire coming out the back. I gotta look back in that terminal. Looks like there might have been a little extra wire stuffed in there. I'm gonna prep my radio, my little test radio here. Get it playing. Put it on pause. Alright, so we're gonna attempt for a couple seconds a power up. And we're gonna let off the remote. We're not running any music or anything in here at this time. We're going to do it again. Nothing seems to be getting hot. So that's a good sign. That means hopefully nothing shorted in there. pause it. I'm not getting any sound. Should be able to, but might not be able to. Might have to set the bias. The transistor style will normally come up. I'm not 100% certain that's the truth on FET style. Like I said, I'm not an expert, but I'm going to go ahead and kill the power. Took the RCAs out. When you set the bias, you don't need to have anything hooked up. No load on it, no input signal. It's the way I've been told to do it. So we'll bring power back up. And so what you can do is I'll have it set on voltage, and I'm going to get my little bitty probe here on my multimeter. And this is why you can't always do it via voltage. And I'll lean this over, and this is the good side, and we're going to measure the voltage and get my little probe in on this other one, and I'm going to power up the amp. And I may not be able to get my probe in there far enough to get a reading. Does not seem like I'm getting one there. Let's see, I think I can maybe get in under here. Let's see if I can not block you guys out here. Fire up the amp. I am not getting a voltage on any of those. I don't have, Rockford may, I don't know if I'm getting any continuity there. Alright, so I'm not getting anything, so there may not be on Rockford's or on this particular Rockford a way to set it via the voltage on this particular amp. Maybe I'm just not able to get my probe in there. It's really hard when they set these big emitter resistors down in there so deep to get good continuity. So what you can do is change your multimeter over into the amp setting, and we're going to switch it over into this 10 amp, and we're going to actually put the multimeter in as the positive wire. We're going to hook it up. I'm going to, here's my screwdriver. I've disconnected the power wire, and I'm going to use this as the power wire in. And so it's going to come in through the black wire, go out through there. And since this is on the current, in the current position, and we've got the meter set for DC current, it's going to allow the current to pass through the meter. Up to 10 amps is all it can do. We're going to use this probe carefully in there. And you're going to get to see the startup current too, which is really cool. We're going to get to talk about a couple things here. So we'll put the power back on. We've got that in there where you can see it. So the amp is going to turn on, and it's showing negative. That means I actually needed to swap those two leads. If that annoys you, you can temporarily pull these out and swap them. And so this amp's going to turn on, and it took, and it's coming up to 9.7, 9.8 amps, just turning on with nothing running. And so the way you would set the bias is you'd put your screwdriver in here, and remember what I said, this happens really quickly. There's going to be a dead band. So if you're thinking the potentiometer goes, let's point at this. If the potentiometer goes here and it turns all the way around to where it points to there, you're going to have nothing happen for a little while, and then all of a sudden you're going to get an increase and you're going to move a little bit and it's going to increase. And then as you get just a little too far, it's going to really start going up to where it'll go pow. So you got to be real careful. So we've stabilized here. The rule of thumb that I've been told is 50 milliamps. So that's going to be a 5 in this location. So if we add 50 milliamps to this, that would bring this actually up to 1.03 amps while this amp is at idle per gain. And so I'm just going to turn it really slow, super slow, until I see that first tick, and then I'm going to be really careful after that. And so coming up, there's 0.9. Now I'm going really careful, and you kind of got to let it stabilize, but it's got to be in the heat sink. There's one. We're going for 1.03. Where are we at so far? .01, 1.02. That's that last little bit where it really starts going. 1.03. Just stop. Let it stabilize. Make sure it's going to stay there, then we can set the other one. So we're going to turn it up, and then we're going to go slow till we see it. Now we're going to go for 1.08. We're going to add another 50 milliamps for this bias adjustment. So we're going to wait till we see it hit 1.04, and then we're going to start getting real careful with it. There we go. We're going to want to take this up to 1.08. That's a pretty good rule of thumb. It has worked well for every amplifier I've seen that I haven't been able to adjust the bias by the voltage. If you get the operators, the repair manual, they will tell you sometimes exactly how to set it up to set their bias, but I've got this from a pretty good source that it's okay to set that Rockford. Now you want to let set for a second. That was our target, and make sure it stays there. We could move it just, I mean, a fraction. We want to make sure it stays stable. And I mean that movement, you probably couldn't even see my screwdriver moving. I was trying to be so careful. So that right there says we should have the bias adjusted. Now, one thing you could do is you could go back over here to one of the good working channels, and if I turn this bias all the way off, it dropped from 1.08 to 1.04. So it dropped 40 milliamps. So that tells me that one was set at about 40. So we're going to run this back up to 1.08. So we might dial these back to just 40 milliamps. And then we'll look at this one. So once this is stabilized, we'll turn this one down. Now that one was 50. So that dropped all the way. So we'll go ahead and jack this one back up to 1.08. Oh, a little too high. Always go back real quick. Like I said, it's very touchy. 1.08. I'm going to go ahead. This one was a little on the low side. Of course, if I had another number out here, if I had a higher resolution, we may be at, it may have been at 8.9. That's why you just kind of barely, whoop, see, and it wants to go a little too far. And I think you are right on the cusp. I really would like to have a more precise measurement there. But not too bad. I think that bias is set well. We'll let the power off. feel for any heat. I don't feel any. So I'm going to go ahead and kill the power. We will remove the meter because the amp can definitely pull more than 10 amps. And I don't want to pop my meter's fuse. Get that out of there. Put my power wire back up over here. Bring this wire back in. I've got on my little test leads, I've used these crimp ferrules. That way they take the abuse. And let's see which channels we want in this one. They take the abuse on the test stand, these little crimp ferrules do, and then I can just recrimp one on instead of letting all those wire pieces get all frayed and stuck everywhere, which is a bad thing because they always find their way in your amp and short it out. I want to make sure that's the right one for the front, yeah. And so let's give this a try. So we will get our meter back in. We'll bring the power on. Turn on our test radio. Power it up. I'm still not getting any sound. Well, it looks like we may have to troubleshoot this. Those may have been dead. Four. Go to 2 input mode just for giggles and full range. It comes on. We've got input here, but I'm not getting any sound. Make sure I got the right speaker hooked up. Yep. Well, we're going to have to go through and troubleshoot this. Well, it looked like it tested good. It did not. So I'm going to unhook the power. And we are going to do one last thing. We've got this very carefully. We've got the power unhooked from the fuse so that we don't have anything bad going on there. I'll pull the speaker back out of the way here. Get this back. Power back up. Let's see, I got a little bit of volume. So this side should be working. If I carefully hold those on there. Yep, we're getting music there. So we are getting a little bit of music signal there. That's what I'm going to shut down the thing. So I'm going to unmount all this, undo it, and we will replace these. The diodes had checked good up there, but we are going to end up having to replace these At least the drives that were for the 96. I'll bet it's just getting these to go, and these are not getting driven correctly. So we are going to have to change those. That's the life of a guy that does this for a hobby and not for a living. So I will see you in the next quick video, or it'll be a transition or a fade.